I would get like boxes of that shit, man. I would come to the store and have like 2,000-3,000 pieces waiting out back. And some of them had them little holes drilled in them. You know, they say they promo. I was selling all them mother $5 a pop. And I just thought about it. All of them mother still scanned, dog.
Gangster Chronicles, this is not your average show.
Well, you know, the funniest thing I ever heard, and I might have mentioned this before, but if I have, or it might have been off air, I knew a guy who was an executive, man, at a well-known label out here. They were well-known, especially in the early 2000s. Remember when everybody started getting deals, like all the gangster rappers around the country started getting all these groups getting deals, right? These people were over there signing people to deals to where they knew they wasn't going to never put the album out. But what they was, if I'm a manager and I knew the people had to plug with them, I would go to them with an artist. They'd say, okay, we go give them a deal. We go give them $250,000. But out that $250,000, we go keep half of it.
Mm-hmm.
And they get the other half. You know, the artist is happy because he got a deal. He busting his ass to put a record out that ain't going to never come out because they just chopping up money. And they did a number of these deals until they eventually came and shut down the division, because what would happen is when they go to their meetings or whatever, well, what's the status of this project? Oh, it's just not coming together. By that time, man, they don't already spent all the money up, man. They did this, man. They must have ran up maybe $13 to $15, $20 million, dog. All of them dudes living in big-ass houses now, dog.
Wow.
I bet.
Yeah,
just think, dog.
Free money, that'll do it.
But just think about that dynamic, man. Think about all the people, and I'm pretty sure, Soren, you heard about those same type of situations too, to where, hey, man, if you deal with this one guy over here, he gets you a deal, but you had to come up off some of that money.
I heard that many times, but I didn't hear though that the albums would just be shelved. I heard it was you can get a deal if you got all the criteria, but you do got to chip dude off. But it was never like, but it's never going to come out. I never heard that.
Well, a few of these guys did come out with records, but they didn't have no push behind them because there wasn't no money.
Right, because they spent it all. They took it.
You know,
all.
by the time the album come out, there don't be no money, man. They doing stuff like they doing promo. You remember how the cars was real big? You know, you come and do the POS. You know, the POS in a record store, they come in, staple you up. They had dudes with two sides on the poster, man. One artist be on one side, another artist be on the other side, man. If I was an artist, that would piss me the fuck off, man.
Well, a lot of that happened to a lot of artists, and I don't know if niggas was naive to it, but me being a veteran to by then, you knew what it was. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, a lot of those were snatch and grab deals. You get me? You get a budget set up. You know, you might can pull about 60, 70,000 off the budget. Where the rest of it goes, who knows? Like you said, they get the piecing up. And you turn the record in and looking for a back end, and they hey, money all gone. So a lot of niggas was doing that. You feel me? But back then, if you had a platinum or a double platinum record, you could easily get that cracking. You know, it wasn't nothing back then for labels who felt like, you know, because let's face it, hip hop wasn't supposed to be, you know, as lucrative or as popular as it was. So when you got these cats coming out selling millions and 2 millions and 3 million records, it's easy for the label to go, yeah, give him $5 million so he can go put all his boys out, and, you know, so they can do this and do that. And some of the times that money got ate up by, you know, the nigga who, you know, was the man at the time at the label. You get me? You know, those hip hop labels love giving out money to niggas who they felt like was carrying their labels. You get me? And hip hop was doing that for a lot of motherfuckers. So if you was one of those niggas at the time where you got a record and it dropped and you got a platinum record, you could walk into the motherfucking A&R or the motherfucking whoever and be like, nigga, I want a label deal. nigga, I need 5 million. I got like 6 artists and whatever. They'll be like, hey, here you go. And you know, a lot of those times, you know, a lot of niggas wasn't businessmen, you know, because let's face it, you know, I'm just an artist myself. So to go into that that executive role, you know, that sometimes that was just the name on the back of a record. You feel me? Executive produced by, because like you said, a lot of those times, those artists didn't get the same promotion or love that the mother who got them the deal is getting. You get me?
Well, I'm gonna tell you too what happened, man, back in the day, and I saw this as a retailer because I happen to be one of the earlier stores to get Soundscan in my store, because I remember when that first came up, I had a record store in Paramount called Flavor for Your Ear Records, right? And I remember when they first came out, I was excited about it. They came out and hooked this stuff up. I was like, man, we actually gonna be reporting this stuff, because before, when I first started becoming a reporting store, we would have to call in at the end of the week and fax this shit in, you know, at the end of the week, right?
You talking about Paramount out here still?
Yeah, Paramount out here, yep.
Okay.
You didn't know that, man? Like, yeah,
I didn't know you had a store. I did not know.
I had a record store, man. Actually, that's how I met Big A, man. And Big A had Underworld Records in Compton.
Off of London.
Yep. Yeah. You remember that?
That's the first time I ever went to Compton, was to go to that store with him.
Yeah, yeah. He had Underworld Records in Compton. We had like a little coalition because the Calvin Anderson and Cletus and all of them. Cletus actually owned a one-stop music merchandisers in Leimert Park. They were a powerful chain of stores. You know, they had the VIP records in Compton. They had a bunch of record stores, right? So they had a lot of buying power, man. They would get records, like they was getting records for the same price that Warehouse Music was getting for. You know what I mean? Because they had so many people. So me and Big A got together, you know, enterprising as Big A. Man, we go run us a thing. Next thing you know, he was coming over putting light boards on my store, and he's like, yo, you can get $500 a month from this, you know? So we started making money, and that's how I got the Soundscan stuff, man. I remember I would get like boxes of CDs in. The main one I would get, all the No Limit stuff, dude, I would get like boxes of that shit, man. I would come to the store and have like 2,000-3,000 pieces waiting out back. And some of them had them little holes drilled in them. You know, to say they promo. I was selling all the motherfuckers $5 a pop. And I just thought about it. All of them motherfuckers still scanned, dog. I was reporting every last one of that. Next thing you know, you see Master P go like this. He becomes one of the biggest artists in the country, dog.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to go into too much detail, man, but we had a lot of other opportunities to do stuff to where people would come by and say, hey, man, can you know, hook some stuff up? Now, I'm going to tell you, some of these guys really sold records, dog. Some of these dudes really sold records, but I saw people actually start supporting Master P without even hearing his music, dog, because they heard about him. Let me hear that Master P.
It was a real movement, though, man, because Annie
he had a movement like a motherfucker.
He put out so many records. He had so many artists. I remember the first time I saw him, I was in Dayton, Ohio. I went to a show and saw him there, man. It was crazy. I couldn't believe, A, that there was that many people at the show, since they're not from Dayton, Ohio, but they knew a lot of the records, too. I was shocked.
That was definitely his marketing. See, you know what? I'm going to tell you what really took off. What really took off for him, man, was when he started putting out those little compilations.
Yeah.
Like the Down South, the West Coast Bad Boys, Down South Hustlers and all that stuff.
And I think
he had a movement going.
I think, too, Down South Hustlers was...
I was on one of those compilations.
Down South Hustlers, I think, was the first double album.
I got a plaque for one of those, for that compilation. I forgot what it was. West Coast Bad Boys, I think, number 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I know he wanted to fuck with you, Eiht.
Yeah. I mean, P was good peoples. I mean, you know, he was about his business, if you want to, you know, if anything, you get me. And
yeah, he was
that's what you got to be, as far as, you know, people think hip hop is just some fad type of shit, But you know, there's been a few niggas who really been about their business when it comes to this mother, as far as running successful labels and knowing how to promote and entertain, and you know, taking that road to where, you know, it gets you to that status of becoming a top-notch executive or whatever. So, you know, hip-hop wasn't to be played with, you know.
It wasn't. And I saw it firsthand by me getting to work all facets just from like being a rapper, owning the retail. That's how I learned a lot, me having an actual retail store. So it wasn't no other option for me, man, than to put my own stuff out. You know, just when I learned it and dealing with the different distributors, like the alliances, or learning what a one-stop was, I actually developed a really good system throughout the country of being able to release records, man, even overseas. Like to a lot of young artists out there, if you're really serious about selling your music, it's still going on today. Going down the Southwest, what's the shit they got down there? South by Southwest.
Southwest, yeah.
Going all that shit. Put you a few dollars together and go out to meet them. It's held in Cannes, France every year in January. I'm going down there this year. And Eiht, when I tell you, you go over there, man, it's every distributor that's in the world that's out there. I went out there and did like 6 different licensing deals. I did one for the United Kingdom. I did one for Germany. I did one that was for Amsterdam. And one Amsterdam, I was making like $20 a record, $20 US a record. I didn't sell number 300 CDs out there, but I was making $20 a record though.
That's good. That's good.
I showed Glass to Malone because I still got the statements here. I was showing Glass to Malone statements. I said, this is how much I used to make off my stuff. He's going out the middle of this January because he's saying, bro, if that changed your life like that, it did. I was selling all of the dog pound. I could talk about it now because it's so long ago. We were selling, Big A would drop off 3,000 or 4,000 dog pound CDs to my house, man. Different CDs, man. You know, they was getting their money too, though. All of these CDs, and even some of the major artists, hey, man, still, I need you to get this out. We had a plug, man, that we was selling CDs to Japan. We was getting COD. I would ship out to Japan. I would ship out to Germany. All these places COD. Hey, if I knew your ass back then, we'd have made a bag. Because I came to you and said, hey, go get as many promo CDs as you can. We go sell all of them motherfuckers over there. And COD.
Yeah, I wish. Sony wasn't playing that shit. Sony be like, how many you taking? Oh, here, we'll give you 30. That's it.
They wasn't going for that, huh?
Oh, no, they wasn't going with that. Come up there and get 500 CDs and another. They like, niggas, you crazy?
Well, you know what we would have did, hey? We'd have went to the studio. We'd have went to a studio. I'd have said, man, go tell Slip to make you 8 beats to 10 beats. We just need enough to call it an album. 8 beats. Man, go in there and make a project. We'd have took a picture of that motherfucker. I'd have took it, send it down to Pen and Pixel, motherfucker.
This nigga talking about going to Japan and the Sony nigga right there. Them niggas would have been wet. Oh, you trying to sell Sony product over here? That nigga signed to Sony. Is you crazy? We can't say that.
But man, when I tell you, dog, that was my first mistake in business. We got paid COD, right? And I never will forget, man, we had just shipped off. It was probably December 12th. We had shipped out. The girl that hit me and said, hey, I need 800 of these, 500 of these, and 1,000 of these. So we shipped the shit off, right? She tells me that because, you know, they time of the year over there, right, that all the banks were closed. You know, they run a little different schedule, right? But she was good. She had always paid us.
I know this story. You want to tell that story? You want to tell
the story, but I ain't going to tell who it is.
Okay. So,
man, I sent the email off just trying to do good business because we've been getting paid COD the whole time. These motherfuckers is looking at me like, still, you sure? You know what I mean? That's a big check. I'm like, bro, I send the email off and CC them on there. One of the dudes on there, one of the artists respond back like, bitch, where the f the money at? Man, when I tell you, and you know over in Asia, they real calm. She just responded back and said, I apologize. I will pay with my own credit card. She paid us, dog. She never responded to no more of our emails again, dog. So just that quick, they up a plug, and when I tell you that we have probably made about $400,000 off that plug, dog, and I said, y'all tripping off this little bit of money, I was so mad I didn't talk to dude for a whole year.
Wow.
I was so, hey, where the was you at back then? I needed to be doing business with a mild-mannered motherfucker like you back then.
No, I wasn't mild-mannered back then. I'd have been the same way. Where the my money at, nigga? I'd have been all on that bitch head, too. Bitch, send my motherfucking bread. It's Christmas time, goddammit. You understand me? Niggas around here starving and shit while y'all out there eating shrimp fouillons and shit real quick. Send me my bread, man. I'm starving.
Gangster Chronicles, we gon' tell you how it goes.
If I lie, my nose will grow like Pinocchio. We gon' tell you the truth and nothing but the truth.
Gangster Chronicles, this is not your average show.